APIs could add, whether what is the exposure, what is the, how much, what was your priority brands which had to be detailed, whether it has been detailed or not. So those adding to it, I think those would be the KPIs, common KPIs for the pharma. Yeah, for digital outreach for FMCGs and maybe consumer businesses or modern trades or something, where the number of impressions, click rates, those digital advertisements, what they digital mailers which they send. So I think those particular KPIs could be an add-on for those particular type of industries. I think for pharma, strictly this 4: customer, sales, product, and efforts and efficiencies. I think that would be, this, I would add on to it.
Do you think probably some kind of, KPIs like RCPA, which is being done by
so RCPA,
an agency?
RCPA would be in
by
the
an
fourth
agency,
bucket. Yeah,
by an agency, right?
By an agency.
Yes. Would mean bring some.
My question is, do we trust our rep or do we trust an agency?
No. So wherever we don't have coverage, I'm talking about those scenarios where you're trying to reach without your rep through digital means, your customers. How do you see whether that mode of channel is helping you generate sales? So one KPIs will be, of course, you see the sales improvement, but apart from that, is that sales improvement happening because of our current efforts spillover, or is it happening because of, definitely those digital touch points? So I was more coming from that side. So maybe open if anybody else wants to, probably add. Eddie?
You're talking about RCPA, right? So the thing is of course, we need to be depending on our internal field force for RCPA. RCPA is a dynamic thing. Yesterday's RCPA is not valid today. So you can't be doing, depending on an agency to give you RCPA, it's going to be a very, very costly affair. The person who presented the RCPA capability, Iyer is here, he's going to charge me a bomb if I want to cover even 5,000. 1 crore is what we'll ask.
He has invited us outside.
I'll meet him outside, but I know what's going to be the cost of it and value of it. Because the life of that data, what I'm going to purchase from him, it'll live for some time. It's good sometimes to to check where you are standing. You can do that on a regular basis. We should actually equip our team to do that in an effective manner. And sometimes what happens, in many companies it happens, the poor person, he puts the RCPA data and you don't use the data. What is that? You're all tracking only tick mark, RCPA done or not. That's what the importance is given more to that than the quality. Unless otherwise you start using the data, start asking them the question, then the quality won't come. So I think industry has gone ahead of quantity. Everybody is doing RCPA. Now we should shift our focus to quality of it. Probably that will be more productive.
Great, I think. Thanks for these inputs. I think it makes sense that we should see what our reps are, offering us and how we can improve the quality of it. I think that should be the endeavor. Moving to Mr. KD. So we see a lot of clutter nowadays. That we were talking about so much of data points coming, and then since the morning we are talking about so many different applications that a rep has to go through. There brings a lot of clutter. So how do you think the future SFE should be driving to the point information for them?
So I think it's the established fact that SAP is important, and definitely SAP plays a crucial role in streamlining the information of the delivery. We look at SFE as, the tool which helps my rep to enhance his productivity. So for that, what are the essential key factors which we have to consider? The SAP first and foremost should act as a single source of truth. I think I and Ranga worked in the organization where, we used to always quarrel, the mera data sahi hai ya tera data sahi hai. So ideally there should be one single source of truth.
I agree.
It should have the accessibility to my rep on the go. So it should be accessible 24/7 whenever he want to access the data. So that accessibility should be there. So SAP actually definitely delivering that particular, it's solving that purpose. At the same time, I think we should have a very user-friendly, easy to understand dashboards, not very cluttered.
Meaning UI UX.
UI UX again. And on the top of that, currently, if the industry is also moving towards, the nudging and the next best action. But then that should be also restricted across the organization wide There should be, maybe you can drive those nudges on a quarterly basis across the organization. It should be the same nudging which will go to all your therapies. I think that will definitely help, to achieve our end goal, how SFE will help my field team to increase and enhance the productivity and the revenue generation.
I think you mentioned few points very relevant. Accessibility, data, wherever they go, 24/7. I see some places, we use so excess of digital technology, and we expect them to, just before the doctor call to have, that handy. But what will happen if the internet connection is not working? So when you are developing that solution, have you really thought of that? Can there be an offline solution which can just sync the data and keep it ready for the rep? In whichever situation he is in, he can access it. So that can be, thought, right? Very, very, very valid point. And with that, probably we'll move to now the third very important component, which is basically bridge between the customers and our field force, which are the enablers, right? So maybe some questions around that. So Mr. Jiten, describe the future-ready CRM to drive efficiency without burdening our field force. And again, we see AI/ML is playing next-gen, technology role here. So any use cases you have in your mind?
Use cases, I think, with the examples which I shared before, maybe if those are the certain use cases which AI/ML, which we have certainly, I have been experiencing, and which are success. In fact, I've seen turnaround of things happening through this. And but yes, if we talk about future-ready CRMs, of course, we spoke about UI UX. KD also spoke about that, and all the speakers, most of the speakers spoke about UI UX. I think that is a major part, because a rep, when he is doing his field work, as I told you, how to make as everybody said, how to make life easier for a rep, from that perspective, make a very user-friendly screen, make it very simple for him, though it should not hamper him from his daily work, basically. When we talk about inciting, we talk about, Renga told about predictive analysis, and so maybe in future, also sort of analytical tools, dashboards, KD also spoke about that. We have that. Of course, we also spoke about today, maybe when we were talking about SFA, was on the integration part. Now, this is very important in fact, a very important pointer for you, which I have experienced it. See, when we have an SFA or any tool which we basically take it in our organization, for our organization, and it is expected to be connected to all the different, whether it is an SAP, whether it is a Darwinbox, or whether it is any other application. So there are certain applications which come in, and then the management expects us that, okay, now you please connect this to your SFA. So the first, maybe even from the management perspective, maybe you all also can pass on this information that the APIs which these tools have, like I'll name one. If I talk about Darwinbox, now if I have to take an API from there, now they charge so heavy, and then the management say no, yeah, this. Then our entire thing of strategy of having employee information coming in the SFA fails. So very important that whatever tools which we go in for, ensure that that there are API connectors and everything which are easily and very cheaply available, and it is easily integrated to your SFA tool which we are using in house. That is there. Of course, the dashboard, customized dashboards which are there. Of course, I spoke about omni-channel communication platforms and all. So these are all, and last but not the least, we have to, of course, ensure about their regulatory compliance and data security, which is also one of the main important pointers which we have in our future readiness of our CRM tools.
So Tabu, can you add?
I would add something there. We are talking about field force, using your sophisticated UI, UX dashboards and extensive data. My SFA team has made a dashboard that's got 15 tabs. God, I don't know how one person can actually, check 15 tabs and identify the problems within these 15 tabs. Basically, we are talking about a poor soul, the medical representative or the manager who is eventually using it. So, in future, enabler, if you're talking about future, 50% of our field force is going to be Gen Z, number one. Therefore, our dashboards have to be Gen Z ready, not old style dashboards. They want something quick. Pandurang, actually, he's made a nice one-pager. Gen Zs want one-pager. Tell me what the hell is the problem. Don't tell me the whole, don't give me the whole data. I don't want to see that. 5-point problem, I will address these red flags. Thank you very much, I'm done. That is Gen Z. Number 2 is your another important enabler. Before even the representative come to you as a problem, while onboarding him, you need to be actually checking his competencies. Today, when we recruit representative competencies, we see our communication skills, product knowledge, negotiation skill, blah, blah, all these things, old styled. So there are some new age competencies we should be checking and recruiting. Data-driven decision making. Is he able to do that? Can he understand data? Can you do the digital way of working? Medical representatives, no more medical representatives. He's a phygital person. You know, he has to navigate not only meeting face-to-face doctor, he has to kind of go through so much of your dashboards, dropping on him. Therefore, data proficiency, digital ways of working are the new age competencies. Even when you are recruiting people, you take such people, probably your products will be used well. Otherwise, they all will go waste.
Okay, great, Thambu. I think you touched upon some of those important pointers which were missed otherwise, right? So recruitment is an important area that you touched, very important, right? And creating future ready, of course, field force will require such solutions as well. So, Mr. KD, when we are talking now, and you have also touched upon the training aspect, right, which is so important. So, why do you think the value-based selling is something which is the focus nowadays? And I see more and more gaining traction. So, do you think any role training can play here?
Absolutely, it is. It has to, because the problem which we're addressing with the training is what we're looking out is for two aspects. One is the knowledge, another is the skills. Because your customer is, I think, multifold knowledgeable than you. So it's very important from a trainer point of view to how to train that boy, what to speak, when to speak, and how to speak. So the product knowledge is definitely going to play an important role. When we are talking about the value-based selling skills, which I said customer centricity will be one of the important aspects, followed by how I can position my product offering as a solution to the problem of a patient. That is also, important training parameters. At the same time, Jagmohan sir is here and he heads the L&D and he will definitely agree with me. The performance management system, in fact, is going to play a very, very important role. A periodic performance